Hey guys, today we're going to be doing the trig ratio lesson. Okay, so at the top it says the largest side of a triangle is across from the largest angle. Okay, and we should all know this one too. The hypotenuse of a right triangle is always across from the right angle, which is always also the longest side. Okay, so the Pythagorean theorem, we should all know this one too. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. And c is always used for the hypotenuse. Okay, so now in the picture below, okay, it says which variable represents the hypotenuse. So in this case, we know that it's p. Okay, so it has to be p because it's across from the right angle. Okay, and it is also the longest side. All right, so now at the bottom here, it says right triangle trig. So trigonometry is incredibly useful to determine heights of mountains, okay, things like that. In order to use trigonometry, we must first be able to label the sides of a right triangle. Now, you must know that this only works for right triangles. So the hypotenuse, otherwise known as h. This is always the longest side. Okay, and again, like we said before, it is across from the right angle. Okay, now the next one is opposite. So that symbol obviously is, we use O for opposite. Okay, so opposite is always across from the angle given. Okay, now the adjacent, that's the letter A. Okay, so now the adjacent, that's my letter A. That one is always between the angle given and the right triangle. So, I'm sorry, the right angle. So, the side between the angle given just move this over, and the right angle. Okay, so now at the bottom here, there are 3 examples. So they will always tell you what angle they want you guys to use. Okay, so in this case, the first one they say angle P. So you always want to mark up the angle first. So if I mark up angle P right here. So now, that's always, across from that's always going to be my opposite. Okay, then from there, I always mark up the right angle. So here's my right angle. Across from that is always my hypotenuse. And then my adjacent is always the side between the angle given. So they gave me P and the right angle, which is Q. So that is my adjacent. Okay, now the same thing for number 2. It says use angle H. So across from angle H is going to be my opposite. Okay, here's my right angle. Across from that is my hypotenuse. And then whatever I have left over, in this case, would be my adjacent. And that's going right there. Okay, and now angle R. So again, you have to mark up the angle that they gave you. Okay, make an arrow. That's my opposite. Across from there is the hypotenuse. That is from my right angle. And then my A is left over. So that's all we're going to practice today, is to figure out what's my O, what's my A, and what's my H. Okay, so now on this page, it says that there's 3 main trig ratios. So the first one is sine. So S stands for sine. Okay, this is known as opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, and then cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So you guys need to know these. Okay, so we use the shortcut. We call it SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so it's Okay, so it's sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, cosine is equal to A over H. And then tan is equal to O over A. Hence why we say SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so now the first one says state the ratio as a fraction in lowest terms. Okay, so first thing they want you to do, they said sine B and cosine B and tan B. So mark up angle B. Okay, now we know across from that is my opposite. There's my right angle, so that's my hypotenuse. And then whatever you have left over, that is your adjacent. Okay, so now we can find out what everything is. So we have the sine of B. We know that's equal to O over H. So that really is 5 over 13. Done. Now I want the cosine of B. So cosine of B is equal to A over H, which is 12 over 13. Done. And then now they want the tan of B, which is equal to O over A, which is 5 over 12. And that's it. That is your answer for all of those. Okay, now if we take a look at number 5. So again, they marked up P for you because they want you to find all of those. So first thing you do is you label your O, your A, and your H. So across from angle P is my opposite. Across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. That's my H. And then A is going to be 8. So same thing. So it's the sine of P. So we know it's O over H. So 6 over 10. Okay. Which reduces to 3 over 5. Okay. Then we have the cosine of P, which is equal to 8 over 10, which reduces to 4 over 5. And then I want the tan of P, which is equal to 6 over 8, which reduces to 3 over 4. Okay, so now you're going to try 6 and 7. Okay. Now, over here, it says express each ratio as a fraction in lowest terms. So if you notice in this picture right here, there is no third side. So first you have to find the third side. So find the third side. Okay, so in order to find the third side, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so we all know that the hypotenuse, which is 10, that is my c squared. So that's going to be 10 squared. And then it doesn't matter which one's a or b, so I'm just going to make a 8. And then I solve for b. Okay, so you guys should know this one. So b squared is equal to 36. So b is equal to 6. So now put that back here. Okay, so now first they want me to find sine A. So I'm going to mark up angle A. Okay, now we know that's going to be my opposite. That's going to be my hypotenuse. This is going to be now my adjacent. Okay, so at the top, we know it is SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so now we know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that is 6 over 10. Okay, cosine A is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 8 over 10. And then the tan of A is opposite over adjacent, so 6 over 8. Okay, now this side says sine of B. I would redraw the triangle, even though I know you guys don't want to, but I would redraw it. Okay, so now A, B, and C. And this is 10, 6, and 8. Okay, so now mark up your angle now at B instead. So this is my O, my H, and my A. If you don't redraw it, you'll probably get it wrong because then you'll mess up where the O, the H, and the A go. Even though you know that H is going to stay the same, just the O and the A will flip. So now the sine of B is 8 over 10. Okay, cosine is A over H, which is 6 over 10. And now tan of B is O over A, which is 8 over 6. I know it says to reduce it in the lowest terms, which I did forget, but I really just don't have room on here. Okay, so now you guys will try number 9. Okay, and then there's a recap on the bottom. So now it says, don't forget, sine is O over H, cosine is A over H, and tan is O over A. So you need to remember, so, ka, toa. Okay, now, the page shows us 3 practice questions. So it says, a right triangle has side lengths of 9 and 12 as shown in the figure. Use the Pythagorean theorem to find the length C of the hypotenuse. We need to use the Pythagorean theorem because they did not give us a third side. So 9 squared plus 12 squared equals C squared. Okay, so 9 squared plus 12 squared, you get 225. And then the square root of 225, you get 15. So C is equal to 15. Okay, part B. Use your answers from part A to find cosine A, sine A, and tan A. Express your answers in reduced fractions. So again, don't forget that we're starting off with angle A. So always mark up the angle. Okay, so angle A, so that's going to be my opposite. There's my right angle, there's my hypotenuse. Here is my adjacent. Okay, so now they want cosine of A. Okay, so before I do anything at the top of the paper, I'm going to write down SOHCAHTOA, so I know not to forget what goes over what. So cosine is A over H. So that's 9 over 15. Reduce that, you get 3 over 5. Okay, now they want the sine of A, which is equal to O over H. So 12 over 15, which is 4 over 5. And then now they want the tan of A, which is equal to 12 over 9, which is equal to 4 over 3. Okay, and then you guys will do number 2 and number 3. And then the last page is also homework. So whatever examples that we didn't do, I'm going to check those as well as the homework. Okay, so make sure that you get that done and then send it back to me in the Google Classroom. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.